The following video contains spoilers for Peacemaker. You have been warned. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Joester Reviews. Today's victim is the first show in the DCEU, Peacemaker. You guys should know how this goes by now, but if you're new here, then basically what we do in Joester Reviews is talk about the good aspects of a show, the bad aspects of a show, and then just clump them all together to figure out whether the show is good or bad. It's a pretty simple concept. You'll probably understand it because it's basically the same as every other review show on the planet. With all that being said, let's get started. First, let's talk about the good. So, the thing about this show is that, James Gunn is, an amazing writer and director. He's probably my favorite one on the planet right now. He did Guardians of the Galaxy, he did Suicide Squad, and obviously he did this. And he is, so good at, making characters. And, the characters are the best part of this show. They're what make this show. The plot is good, but, the thing is just really drives it and makes you care about everything that's going on are the characters, with especially Peacemaker himself. He is by far the most interesting character on here, which is good because he's the protagonist and also the title character. John Cena just gives such an amazing performance, and it is just so emotional whenever you see the human side of him, and you get to see his really tragic backstory about he accidentally killed his brother. And part of the reason why it's so impressive to me is because in the Suicide Squad, when this character was introduced, Peacemaker's is a total jerkwad, and just how are you going to make a solo series about this guy who was a total idiot in that movie? And why would you ever want to sympathize with him? Why would you ever want to empathize with him? This guy is not a good person. But then in this show you realize that the reason he's so messed up is because he has this really bad dad. He's really racist and bigoted, and then but the other thing that James Gunn is so insanely good at, that is another large part of what makes this show so great, is the music. A good soundtrack can just elevate a show or movie just so much. In the final battle scene where all the characters are mowing down the butterflies, and they're just and the Throw Your Dog the Invisible Bones song is playing in the background. That just got me so pumped. And speaking of that song, how about the intro that got everyone talking for 10 weeks straight? Wasn't that just so freaking amazing? How the hell did they that was the most goofy intro I have ever seen, partially because everyone was just so stone-faced and serious the entire time. And oh my god, that intro is the best intro in all of television history. I honestly can't get enough of it. I never skip it. Well, except for the last time I watched it, which was when I accidentally where I accidentally started watching it really late, and so I didn't really have time to watch the intro, so I felt great shame, and I ended up watching it multiple times on repeat afterwards to make up for my incredible sin. So, and just this show was just such a absolute blast to watch. The characters were fun, the music was great, and the action. Oh my god, the action. I talked about the final battle because of the song that was playing in the back of it, but at the same time, the action itself was just chef's kiss. And something I mentioned in my review of the Suicide Squad that I released last year after watching it was that rated R and rated TV MA movies and shows are just able to just increase the level of enjoyment from the action just show so much, because they don't have to pull any punches. They can show all of the damage. They can go all out. And this show definitely does that. They definitely really earned the TVMA rating here. It is just so insane. I do feel at times it was kind of gratuitous, because they were just all right, we know we're gonna get a TVMA rating, so let's just throw in a bunch of random crap that really doesn't need to be there just because we can. Some of the sex scenes were not entirely necessary, but I just really enjoyed myself while watching it, this show is just so fun and just entertaining, and at the end of the day, that's just what entertainment and movies and shows are made for, to entertain us. I feel like I said the word entertain a lot right then. But alas, nothing in this world is perfect. Not even this show. And this isn't even a fake out last time like I did with my Suicide Squad review. Like, I actually do have a couple of problems with this show. First off, the number of fake out deaths. Oh my god, the amount, there's just like so many fake out deaths in like the last 2 episodes. It's just like hard to take like any of them seriously, because like you know what kind of show this is. You know they're going to get brought back immediately afterward because you've already seen it so many times. Like, there are just so many moments in like the last 2 episodes where just like character dies and it's supposed to be really emotional, but oh wait, no, they're not actually dead. They do this so many times. They did this with Vigilante twice. They did this with Harcourt. They did this with Leota. They did this with Peacemaker. And they did this with Eagly. And this is like so impossibly hard to like take any of the actual character deaths, like Detective Song, easily, because like it's just so, you've seen them just like do this fake out thing so many times. It's impossible to take it seriously. I feel like I've said those exact words in slight variations 1,000 times, but I think you get it now. Another thing that bugged me about the show is like in the final episode where like the lead butterfly is explaining to Peacemaker that they're not actually the main villains of the show. The real villains are the Republicans. And it was just like, seriously? Like, why couldn't the message have been about something like this country is so divided and that's why it's failing? No, instead we're gonna specifically blame one political party for all of this. Like, what was the point of that? Like, you essentially alienated a bunch of the people who are going to watch this show and like left them with a sour taste in your mouth because you insulted their political stance. I personally like was not super affected by this because like I'm not part of the political party that this show was kind of insulting, but I do recognize that like definitely a lot of the people in that party are not bad people by any stretch of the imagination and would probably get pissed off by the one-sided portrayal of this. Especially considering that one of the only lead-ups to this is because they have a villain character whose sole personality trait is that he's racist. And it just feels like you're taking all of the nuance out of a very controversial, touchy subject for a lot of people. And I don't know, I'm going to stop talking about this right now because I don't like talking about politics on the internet, because I know if I do, then I will get yelled at in the comments by angry people, and I get enough of that by totally non-political things, so I'm going to shut up about all that now. I'm very sorry that I brought that up. So, I guess the verdict is that Peacemaker is a very fun and entertaining show with great characters, action, and music that is just like some flaws that just make it really hard for certain people to watch it, but I am not one of those certain people, and so I didn't really care that much. I know it probably seemed like I did, but truth be told, I really kind of didn't. Like, that was just like not really a big deal for me. It definitely did not retroactively ruin the show at all, but still, I enjoyed this show, and I would be interested in hearing your thoughts on Peacemaker in the comments down below. And I would just like to inform everyone that it is like 3:30 a.m. when I'm recording this, and I'm also trying to do this unscripted. Like, I did not really plan any of this out beforehand. Like, I didn't have a script that I'm reading any of this off of. So, if this video sounded like the insane ramblings of an incredibly sleep-deprived person, then now you know why. Goodbye and see you next time, because I really need to get to bed.